In this video, we're going to be taking a look on pages Access 8 and 9, in which we're going to be creating a table. Now, after creating your database and the first table, you need to create new related tables to build a relational database. Now, creating a table consists of these essential tasks. First, you need to define the fields in your table, then select an appropriate data type for each field. Then you need to name the table, and then determine how the table will participate in the relational database. So if we take a look on step 1 on page Access 8, it tells us that we want to click on the Create tab, which that is up here at the top, and that is our Create tab there on our ribbon, and it tells us we want to click on the Table Design button. And of course we have this broken up into different groups. We have our templates, tables, queries, forms, reports, and macros and code, but we want to go here and click on our Table Designs button. That's here. And this will open up a new table in Design View, which we use to create and manipulate the structure of an object. So the first thing we want to do is we want to enter the field names and data types that's shown on figure A-8, which is on page Access 9. So if we go through here, I'll kind of quickly go through here and complete these for you. We want to put in comment ID, and then of course we can hit down. And then here we want comment, hit our down key, type in comment date, hit down, and then we want our customer ID, or our cust ID. Now for the data types on here, for our comment ID, we want that to be an auto number. So we're going to keep that as auto number. For our comment, if you remember earlier in our last video, we talked about having long text is appropriate for comments because generally that's good for text that's over 255 characters. Next, for our date, the appropriate one is going to be the date and time. And then finally, our customer ID is going to be a number. Now, if you remember in our customers table, we actually have a customer ID that's an auto number. But here's where we're going to start tying these two things together. So we're going to see how these things work out and how they tie together. Now the contents table is going to contain these 4 fields as we see on here: comment ID, comment, comment date, and customer ID. Now the comment ID is set with the auto number data type, so each record is automatically numbered by Access. The comment field has long text data type, so long comments can be recorded. The comment date is the date time field, so to identify the date of the comment. And the cust ID has a numbered data type and will be used to link the comments table to the customers table later on. Next, on step 3, we need to click on the View button here. And of course you can click on the top part to switch to the datasheet view. And of course we need to save our table. So yes, we do want to save this. And we want to save this as comments. So this is going to be our comments table. So we want to click on OK. And of course it tells us here that no primary key has been identified. And in this case, we're going to click on No. Now a primary key field contains unique data for each record. Now you'll identify a primary key field for the comments table later on. But for now, we'll enter in our first record in the comments table in the datasheet view, and then we'll come back later on and set a primary key. Now a record is a row of data in a table that's on there. So in this case we want to click on No, so we don't want to create a primary key now. And of course notice our comments table has been opened up, and there is our 4 fields that we've had. Now of course if you made a mistake and you named this incorrectly, you can always right click the object to close it, and then you can right click the navigation area. So if, let's say I spelled this or something on there, I could close this, and then I can right click and I can rename this if I want to rename the comments area. However, I'm going to reopen this back up on here, and now I want to go through and I want to type in some information. So on step 4, I'm going to press my tab key, and that's going to move this to the comment field, and I'm going to type in interested in future tours to New Zealand. And I'm going to press my tab key. Then next I'm going to type in the date of 1/7/15, and then I'm going to press Tab key, and I'm going to press 1 as my customer ID field. Now I input 1 in the customer ID field to connect this comment with the customer in the customers table on there that has the customer ID of value 1. And guess who that is? That's you on there. Now knowing which customer ID value to enter for each comment is difficult. Now after you relate the tables properly, which is a task you have not yet performed, Access can make it easier for you to link each comment to the correct customer. So for right now we just have to know which one it is, but when we link these together we'll eventually end up making it easier for us on there. Now if you wanted to, you could go through there, and of course we're going to do this in step 5, because we notice that our comments kind of cut off, because right now it just says interested in F. We don't know what the rest of it says. Well, we do because we typed it. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand out this field so we can see the rest of this. So in step 5 it tells us that we're going to point to this dividing line between comment and the comment date. And when we point to this, it turns our mouse pointer into a double-headed arrow, which is a resizing pointer, and we can click and we can drag on this, and we can drag it over until we see the entire comment. You may have to do this a couple times, but we want to make sure that we see the entire comment of interested in future tours to New Zealand. Now you got to imagine, as a employee of this company, that's important to know, because then I can take a look at these comments later on and say, hey, there's someone that's interested in a tour to New Zealand. So maybe when there's one that opens up, I can contact this customer and make a sale. So now you can start seeing a little bit more on how Access is kind of important that's on there. Now of course if the comment field is an or the comment ID field is an auto number field on there, which will automatically increment to provide a unique value. Now the number has already been increased beyond 1 for the first record. Auto number still works as intended, so if you input in another record and deleted one, it's going to go on to the next number that's on there. So don't worry about that on there if it has a different number. As long it should be 1, but if it if you made a mistake and you deleted that record and it says 2, that's okay as well on there, because the auto number will never repeat itself, and that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. Next on here it tells us that we want to right click the Comments Table tab, which is right up here. So we want to right click this, and it tells us that we want to close this. And then since we made a change to the layout by expanding out this comments area, we do want to save the layout of the table and say yes. Now of course you can create a table in Datasheet view as well. We mentioned that where you can click on the where it says click to add on there as well. And of course you can create a new table in Datasheet view using the commands on the Fields tab of the ribbon. But if you use the Design view to design your table before starting the data entry process, you will probably avoid some common data entry errors. Now Design view helps you to focus on the appropriate data type for each field. Selecting the best data type for each field before entering any data into that field helps prevent incorrect data and unintended typos. For an example, if a field is given a number, currency, or date and time data type, you will not be able to enter text into that field by mistake. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. Even though that you can create a table in Datasheet view, generally it's best to go into the Design view to create your tables. And of course, take a quick look on here as well on page Access 9. Do pay attention to table A-4, which talks about important database terminology. We're a field. Of course, I'm just going to open up one of these areas right here. If we take a look at a field, and of course that is a specific piece or category of data, such as maybe a first name or comment ID or comment or something such as that on there. So it's one specific bit of data. A record is a group of related fields. So if I go to this customer on here, the entire customer record here for, say, for an example for myself, all of these fields here in this row is my record. on there, and it fully describes a person, place, or thing, or maybe such as a transaction, or such as a customer, location, product, or sale. Now there is a key field which we have not set on these on there, and that's a field that contains unique information for each record. Maybe for an example, a customer ID field may be a good key field that way, so you don't duplicate your numbers that's on there. Now, of course, a table, which this is our entire table here, is the collection of records for a single subject. Maybe for an example, here's our customers, and here's our individual comments. So we know that one table is for customers and the other one's for comments. And of course, a relational database is multiple tables that are linked together to address a business process, such as managing tours, sales, and customers at your business. And then finally, we have objects, and of course that's another term that's important to know, and those are the different parts of the Access database, which helps you to view, edit, manage, and analyze the data. And once again, those are tables, queries, forms, reports, and it also includes macros and modules. And that concludes the information that's on pages Access 8 and 9. In the next video, we're going to be going back and creating the primary keys on there, so make sure that both of your fields or tables are closed out and that your worksheet or workspace is empty and ready to go, but you do leave Access up and running. So you are now ready to move on to the next video.